22 minutes past 3. So confirmed yesterday, Growth Point and the Public Investment Corporation, 50% partners as new owners of the V&A Waterfront. That very important piece of real estate back in South African hands. And generally, almost exclusively, there's been a very positive response to yesterday's announcement. Yep, there have been some questions about the price paid, 9.7 billion rand. But if you heard the CEO of Growth Point on with Bruce Whitfield last night, he advanced a very convincing rationale for that price actually being a good price to have paid. Estienne de Klerk is an executive director with Growth Point on the line to us now from Johannesburg. Estienne, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John.
I'm absolutely certain that you don't have in any way detailed development plans for the waterfront. Obviously, what's there already, you're going to be looking to maximize revenue from that, make sure it's well managed, even better managed than it is at the moment, etc., etc., etc. But if we could focus on the roughly 200,000 square meters which you've bought, which is undeveloped and for which the city has granted development rights.
Yes.
Are there any restrictions as part of those development rights which say there's certain things you can and certain things that you can't build?
Yes, John, I think, maybe just in summary, there's roughly about 220,000 square meters of rights available, which is, just to contextualize, it's about 36% of the total development rights within that basin of the V&A. So that means to date we've developed roughly, or there has been developed roughly about 64%. Those rights are what they refer to as a parcel of rights and include rights for retail, which is shopping-related activities, offices, hotels, and in fact the bulk of the rights there are in fact residential. Probably about 98,000 of the 220,000 is in fact residential rights in the various precincts, the largest one being Granger Bay, which is to the left-hand side if you're looking towards the sea, towards the Radisson side of the V&A.
Okay, so 98,000 square meters residential. So that's done and dusted. I mean, obviously the kind of residences which are put up there, that's all down to the architects and the developers and what the market will buy and what the market's interested in. So the other 122,000 square meters, which is mostly hotel and retail. And the question I've been asking is, my goodness me, do we need more retail? Aren't there enough shops in Cape Town? Aren't there enough shops at the V&A Waterfront? And I've been asking listeners what they would like to see down there, and people talking about sort of a Cape Town version of Disney, underground swimming pools, the IMAX theatre coming back. What's the thinking at Growth Point at the moment?
Yes, I mean certainly our intention, we are a commercial enterprise. We want to ensure that the V&A it remains a destination of choice for not only tourists, but also for South Africans and Cape Town residents. And I think if we can maybe just touch on the retail side, there is sort of a general feeling that there might be a lot of retail in and around Cape Town as we have a look there today. But there is definitely demand from the retailers to right-size certain of their facilities within.
So Pick and Pay wants a bigger store, for example.
So exactly, and certainly the one thing that is that we have seen out of experiences is if you do have a larger offering, it does tend to attract more feet. So in other words, it becomes a destination, and as a result of that, there's nearly a synergy that develops, and you can get much more feet through the facility. And the trading densities in the end of the day is what makes retail work.
Again, a sort of theme. This is only something that I've introduced to listeners in the last 15 or 20 minutes, but given the sort of several dozen SMSs and emails that have come through already, it's obviously something that touches a Cape Town nerve. We feel very strongly about the waterfront, and one of the many themes that's coming through from this small non-scientific survey is a lot of Cape Townians feel priced out of the waterfront experience. But as you say, you paid 9.7 billion rand on this. Whatever you're going to develop, you're going to need to, spend money, and you're going to want a return on that. So maximizing return becomes very important for you. So how do you keep the waterfront going as a viable economic concern and make it affordable to a large range of Cape Townians?
Yes, I think, certainly Growth Point, we currently have 11.5 billion rand retail portfolio. And we have people with vast experience within the retail sector that have, certainly dealt with this kind of scenario where you've got varying requirements within in a specific node. And certainly I think we believe that we can add quite a lot of value there, and collectively with our partners, the PIC, who have also got similar experience, we believe that the V&A will remain and will continue to be a marvelous asset for Cape Townians, alike with tourists, and that we'll be able to service both those markets with the complexities that it does bring, and that any development in the future will always have cognizance of the existing market that we're servicing, as well as potential markets that we might want to service in the future.
So what I'm getting from you, Estienne, and it certainly makes commercial sense, is a more expensive accommodation, more shops, and more hotel space. Are you thinking in...
No, I think, I don't think necessarily more expensive accommodation. In terms of from a retail point of view, I certainly don't necessarily think that would be true. We always have to have a focus on the sustainability for our retailers who are in effect...
No, I'm talking about the residential developers. They're more expensive apartments.
Okay. In that case, I think certainly the residential accommodation, we haven't finalized our thinking on exactly what offering we would like to bring, but I would probably hazard a guess to say that there will be potentially a variety of offerings in the V&A, and they will come at various pricings.
Fair enough. So it's accommodation, it is retail, it is hotels. Are you thinking of doing, some statement thing in there? That is obvious, and it makes good commercial sense for you, and it fits in with the development rights framework that exists. Are you looking to do, anything statement, anything which says Cape Town, anything which is out of the ordinary in this extraordinary place?
Potentially, yes, but at this stage, we definitely haven't really applied our minds to that kind of planning in the future, to be honest. And certainly those kind of ideas take quite significant planning. And at this stage, as we sit here today, we're still busy effectively trying to conclude the transaction. The transaction is still subject to plan a strategy forward that will be potentially offering that statement that you require.
So, I understand it's very early on, and that I was unfairly putting you on the spot about things which will only be decided in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year's time. But I thought it important to get the conversation going, and thank you very much for participating. Estienne de Klerk, Executive Director at Growth Point Properties.